All right, folks, we will go ahead and get started here. Thank you for everyone who's watching this either live as we're going through this or after the fact. Hello, my name is Ethan Stieber. This is Stieber Weather Forecasting, and we're going to talk a little bit today about the upcoming freezing rain event that we could see tomorrow and kind of long term what the rest of the week looks like. So, as we get set up here, let me just check, make sure everything's working. Yes, okay. So, first up on your screen, you see this is the, first of all, this is the National Weather Service page in Lincoln, weather.gov/ILX. This is a great place to go for any information that you might need weather-wise. They're a great resource for that, and they're the ones that put out all of the warnings and watches and all that fun stuff for our area. So great resource there. First up, we've got all of these advisories. These are all winter weather advisories, primarily for ice. And we'll dive into those here in just a second. Notice everyone in the area is under a winter weather advisory except for Richland, Lawrence, Wayne, Edwards, and Wabash counties. So all those kind of south of US 50, with the exception of Clay County, are all under all those south of US 50, with the exception of Clay County, are not in a winter weather advisory. However, you could still see some effects from this. So let's break down the different advisories right now. First one up in this text over here on your left, notice this is the winter weather advisory that was issued just this afternoon for Jasper, Crawford, and Clay counties. It will go into effect starting at 3 a.m. Overnight tonight, 3 a.m. Monday morning, and last until midnight Monday night. That's kind of our main time frame we're looking at for this. Expected hazards are up to 1/10 of an inch of ice throughout the whole thing. So that is for our counties basically south of I-70. For everyone else, again, same time frame, 3 a.m. Monday to midnight Monday night. Around a tenth of an inch is expected there as well, with some potentially higher amounts. So first off, before we get too far into talking about all of the freezing rain accumulations and looking at model data and all that fun stuff, I want to just take a second and explain what freezing rain is, and that way we can kind of all be on the same page here. So freezing rain, just to remind everyone, is as this warm air is moving in, because it's going to warm up this week quite substantially. Since it has been cold, there's a lot of cold air at the surface. So that warm air is going to rise up above that cold air, and what will happen is it creates this layer of warmth that any precip that falls usually falls in the form of snow right at the start. It falls through this warm layer, and as it falls through the warm layer, it warms up enough to transition over into rain. And that cold air at the bottom, which is at the surface, kind of the bottom few thousand feet in the atmosphere where we are right now, it is thin enough that that precipitation that is falling does not have a chance to change back over into, sleet or snow or anything like that. So we see freeze on contact. That's where we see the freezing rain. So hopefully, I just wanted to explain a little bit of, we haven't seen a lot of freezing rain here in a while. So take this opportunity to explain what we're going to see tomorrow. So let's dive into the model data, and we're going to pick this up at 3 a.m. overnight tonight. Again, this is when all those winter weather advisories kick in. Notice color shadings on the map here. Blue indicates snow. Red, this kind of deeper red area, indicates more of a heavier freezing rain. The purple is all your sleet and freezing rain, all that wintry mix. And the green that we'll see later is more of the just plain old rain showers. So 3 a.m. Overnight tonight, notice that rain will be off. Rain, freezing rain, sleet, wintry mixed stuff will all be off to our west. It'll come in 2 rounds. This first round will affect the morning commute. Notice that freezing rain starts to really overspread the area here at 6 a.m. Tomorrow morning. Mostly freezing rain across the area. Far north of I-70, maybe close to that I-74 corridor, may start out as a little bit of snow, but then it will transition over to freezing rain as the morning commute moves on. As we go throughout the day, We'll bump it up here to, here's noon now. Notice we've started to taper off a little bit. There is still a little bit of freezing rain and sleet and wintry mix in the area, but predominantly it will kind of subside during the day before our next round of moisture pushes in. And notice here we are in the afternoon. This is now 6 p.m. I believe in the afternoon. Yeah, 6 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, Monday afternoon, with a lot of wintry mix still in the area, and that will start to transition over to rain as we get closer to midnight. Notice here now is midnight Tuesday night. Rain has started to transition over, the wintry mix has started to transition over to all rain along that US 50 corridor and south, with a little bit of freezing rain and wintry mix left over to our north. And as we go further along into the overnight hours, notice for that morning commute on Tuesday, the wintry mix looks to pretty well be out of the way, with just some rain showers left over behind that. So that's one model run of this high-res model we call the HRRR. It's an American model. Next up, this is the most recent run of it. It doesn't go out quite as long, but I can show you it's still kind of painting the same picture here. We'll pick this up at midnight Monday night, midnight tonight rather. So notice that wintry mix is off to our west. As we move in a little bit further along, here's 3 a.m. Notice pretty well the same placement of it. All of that precip is just kind of slightly off to our west. So this is when all those winter weather advisories will kick in. As we go further along into the overnight hours, that wintry mix starts to overspread the area, and by 6 a.m. again, we're looking at pretty well a wintry mix across the entire area, with some snow off to our north. So that's kind of what we can expect throughout the morning commute. And again, this is where this model stops, but we'll see a break towards the middle of the day before the next round of moisture kicks back in. So let's talk accumulations a little bit. First of all, I will say this particular model run, this was the first model I showed you. I think it overdoes it a little bit closer to Springfield, but hey, that's not our viewing area. So it does overdo it over there, but we don't have to worry about that, even though, you know, it is showing closer to that Edwardsville area, maybe 3/4 of an inch of ice. I think that's significantly overdoing it. But closer to home here, if we look along that US 50 corridor, closer to, say, Flora, we're looking at maybe a 1/10 to 1/1500ths of an inch of ice. As we go further west, only maybe a couple hundredths of an inch. Closer, the further south and east you are, I think the less impact you'll have. If we go further north, say around Effingham, it suggests maybe a 1/10 to 2/10, 3/10 of an inch. Further north around that Charleston, Mattoon area, again, a 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. This model was a little bit of an overperformer. Next forecast model I'll show you is significantly different. Notice it has most of the freezing rain stay well north of the area. And this is a different forecast model than the two I've showed you. It, again, paints a little bit of a different picture. Heavy freezing rain potential over around the St. Louis metro area, but around here maybe 1/10 to 1/1500ths of an inch to our north, say around that Charleston, Mattoon, Route 16 area. A couple hundredths around Effingham, but notice that cutoff line is much further north, say north of I-70. That warm air gets a little further. So what's that to mean? Basically, we have the potential to see some wintry precipitation tonight and on throughout the day tomorrow. Do I think it'll be quite as significant as this forecast model? Maybe not quite. I think generally across the area, a 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain is definitely not out of the question. Some of us may see a little bit more than that, especially those of you further to our north and west, say, especially around that Charleston area. You have probably the best probability to see some ice out of this. Charleston, Paris, points to the north. If you're further south along that US 50 corridor, I would say, again, the further west, Clay County probably has the best chance, along with Effingham. A little bit less of a chance along the eastern half of that US 50 corridor, Lawrence County and Richland County, especially for that. So those are those two forecast model predictions for freezing rain. Let's look at the National Weather Service prediction. Notice it kind of paints the same picture. Heavier totals once you get closer to that St. Louis metro area, down in the bottom left of your screen. But generally along that US 50 quarter, we stay under a tenth. I think these numbers are a little bit low, honestly, but I don't expect to see a big major ice storm out of this. Notice around that Charleston, Mattoon, Paris area, we're looking closer to a tenth of an inch. Effingham, maybe just over a tenth of an inch. So, again, that's kind of what we can expect with the freezing rain potential out of all this. There's, with the warm air coming in, of course, we'll have plenty of nice temperatures. We'll appreciate the temperatures as we go later on into the week, but we do have this freezing rain situation to deal with. So let's talk later on into the week, just to kind of change our minds from that wintry mix stuff. We'll pick this up Tuesday at midnight, so right after the rain has started to transition over from that freezing rain. And notice Tuesday looks to be a pretty rainy day across the area. Rain moves out of the way Tuesday night. Here's Wednesday at 3 a.m. Another batch of rain's moving in. You kind of get the picture from this. Rain Tuesday and Wednesday, some leftover showers for your day on Thursday before the rain starts to subside. Friday looks to be better, and Saturday looks to be a pretty good day before maybe some more rain showers get into here on the day on Sunday. Plus side of this, we do see a lot of rain potential from this. Notice most of the area, this is the expected rain forecast. This is everything combined. So freezing rain, snow, sleet, plain old rain showers, everything combined for the next week. This is up until, let's see, this is through Friday afternoon. And notice a lot of the area we can expect to see about an inch of rain, maybe more, inch to inch and a half of rain as we go throughout this week. So some beneficial rain across the area, but we do have a little bit of those. We do have a little bit of freezing rain to deal with. Again, I think these National Weather Service numbers are pretty close, maybe a little bit under if we're looking south of I-70. But generally, they're pretty close to what we can expect. Nothing major out of this, but still be aware of those travel concerns. Monday, it's going to be a pretty slippery commute for everyone, both in the morning and the afternoon, evening commute. So make sure to allow extra time as you travel to wherever you're going on Monday, and plan ahead, leave you extra time to get where you're going. So hopefully this was informative. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button underneath this video on my YouTube channel. That way you stay up to date with all the live streams and videos that I may post. You'll get a notification there before you get it on Facebook. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and if there's any updates, I'll make sure to post them on Facebook. If there's any major updates, I'll make sure to record another